So you heard him at the very beginning say he sells pools, which is kind of strange profession, but he makes money doing that. But what is interesting, or what I find interesting, is that he has some views on the way students are taught or teachers are teaching, because he also does a lot of training for people who are going into the BPO business, because he's got good language skills. So let's hear some of his experiences. Would you like to tell us, what do you think about the students who come out today? Are they ready for a job in the BPO?
The people who are focused on getting a job would get a job, However, on saying that, I think you need to have classes for interviews.
Okay.
On developing your English language as well. Because the current students, when they come to the final year, they panic.
But why should a final year student panic? I mean, does he have to have an exam? I mean, is he going up for an interview?
Because that's when the interviews come in.
Oh, you mean the placement and
exactly
stuff?
The placement interviews come in, and then they find out that their English is not up to the mark.
Okay.
And I would like to say there should be classes, but then again I won't blame the colleges for that. Because how many students would want to sit in that class in the first year and second year? I know I would not have.
So where would they be? Under the trees?
Under the trees,
drinking
maybe.
beer, smoking up?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, a college can enforce that. I mean, surely the teaching staff can make it interesting that people sit back and do interactive classes.
If I would agree with you on this point. If the classes are made interesting, I don't think the students will want to leave.
Yes.
But I would like to tell every student, take this opportunity to tell every student that there are so many colleges, there are so many students passing out, and not that many jobs.
Oh, so you're going to be chasing,
competing
with each
you're
other.
always going to be behind the 8 ball.
Okay, and competing.
Exactly. So you need to put in that extra effort.
Okay.
You need to go in and practice talking in English. It doesn't mean to say that, I've
you
heard...
to be a Peter.
Exactly. You don't have to
be
be a Peter. I speak colloquial Tamil as well,
Right.
It doesn't mean to say that because I speak English, I speak only English, or because I speak
something
Tamil,
that you can develop parallelly.
Exactly. Talking to... Now, I've got friends of the highest level and the lowest level. I can't talk to the high level in colloquial Tamil, and I can't talk to the lower level in the sense in no bad ways.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
Working
say for
class.
example, my friends, I also have auto drivers.
Yeah.
I also have mechanics who are very close friends of mine, but I can't talk to them in English.
True.
So
you
I
need
go
to know
down
that.
to their way of speaking, and I speak Tamil as well. So every student would need to learn that English is mandatory in the current age.
And how much would it cost to go to a class like this in terms of money, real money? As some students ask, hey, how much would it cost me to pick up some skills?
It depends on who you're going to, point number one.
All right.
I've seen a lot
Let's say
of...
somebody decent enough. I mean, he has some idea of what he's teaching.
I think it should cost them about 4,000 to 5,000 for the course.
Okay, now what would that course be? 1 class, 2 class, 5 class, 10
That should
class?
be about a minimum of 3 classes a week.
Okay.
Of 1.5 hour duration.
Okay. So what is it? Sit down in rows and listen to the guy talking to you?
It doesn't mean to say you need to be sitting and listening.
Okay.
It's about interacting with them. A good teacher would know how to get answers out. The way you are getting answers out from me.
Okay, tell me before we run out of time. Where are these places? Where do they find them? In the yellow pages?
That's a tricky question,
Okay.
I don't want to mislead any students into...
So there's an instant fix.
Yes,
there is
exactly.
no instant fix.
I would like them to do is, now for example, I'm a trainer, but instead of coming to me, I would like them to find out from my students how good a trainer I am.
Okay.
And if you get a certificate from my trainees, then I'm the right person. So whoever you're going to...
how would they even know to locate your students and then find you?
Perfect question. If a boy wants to find a girl, if he likes a girl, he'll find out every detail about that girl.
But you're talking about studying, which is different from dating.
No, it would. If you want to do something, you can.
Okay, but seriously speaking, is there any place they can find out? Is there a listing somewhere? Are there any websites that they can go and say, all right, I'll go apply here?
See, there are many places where they will teach you. There are many places that they would teach you, and I'm not saying everyone are perfectly good or perfectly bad. They are money making or not money making. It depends on who you meet.
Okay.
And
So offhand, you're not sure if there are any regular coaching places.
No, there are,
which will take you after your normal day job. Like let's say you're working somewhere in a store and you want to pick up some English language skills. Is there any place, maybe a missionary school, maybe I don't know, if not a missionary school, any school that has empty classrooms, holding some language
What
classes?
I would ask them to do is, if you have these 10th and 12th standard English teachers,
Yes.
I think they would be your best bet.
Just go start talking to them?
Go start talking to
But
them.
they might just call the cops and say, this guy is bothering me.
You can ask them, see, I'm interested in learning the language and I don't mind paying you for it. And it doesn't mean to say it could be a woman. It could be a man as well.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
As long as they can talk.
Exactly.
And you think more like English can be learnt speaking rather than going through the books? I mean, of course, books are important, but doing lessons in grammar.
Let's put it in this way. My mom has been a teacher. You know, she teaches the English language. So for me, it was the way she taught me. She taught me that the more you talk, the better you get. You know, obviously, every word that you speak in English is grammar. So you need to know the basics of grammar as well.
True.
I would be misleading all the students. You say, you know, you talk and you'll get it. You would learn.
Do you think our Tamil movie should have, or English movie should have subtitles for people to read along with it? You think it's a good thing?
The problem is I've seen some movies where the subtitles and what they say are completely different things.
You know,
so again, it's misleading.
I've heard some bad words translated as "Hey Bhagwan."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they can't say the real thing.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say that as well.
But you think there's hope for our kids that they'll be able to?
There is. What I've noticed in the past 2-3 years, I see a lot of kids actually talking in English. You know, which wasn't there in my school time.
Right.
You know, in my school time, I can still remember that, you know, there were prefix we were fined if you talk in Tamil.
Okay.
But now it's not like that. Everybody wants to talk in English. You know, everybody wants to talk in English. So we are moving forward.
And I think that's what will make Chennai a more open city, be able to communicate with people from other areas.
Exactly.
Because we neither speak Hindi.
Yeah.
And if you don't speak English either, then you're dead.
If you want to survive in Chennai, you need to speak decent English and decent Tamil as well.
So you don't think there's any formal place to go, but they can just go and find their own way and find it.
See, I don't want to mention any particular names on the show, but there are certain places.
You might as well give me one name before we close.
No.
So that was just a small little conversation. We're going to a fourth segment, and in that we'll do something a little out of the ordinary. So we'll see you after the break.